finding the first producer is always the same story for everybody. So, um, see, initially I wanted to become a filmmaker because I realized that I had an urge to be creative, but no other medium was, or I was not equipped enough to express myself better than in any other medium. So I think I started trying writing scripts, and then I thought I should be a script writer. And then once I started working for my mentor Balu Mahendra sir, I realized that I could also try to be a filmmaker, and that's how it all started. And maybe because of my schooling under him, I had an idea of trying to have a middle cinema where we cater films to the mainstream audiences, but not catering to the groundliness of all of us, like where we just go there to be entertained, entertainment in quotes. So to be entertained in 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 a base way and just leave the theater. So I just wanted to question myself and question the process of filmmaking and my growth as a person, and everything I wanted to explore through the kind of stories that I choose to tell, and the time that I take to tell those stories, all of that. And I think with Visaranai, I was able to do that a bit. And then after Visaranai taught me a lot. And from Visaranai, I've been trying to find my voice better, and I'm trying to explore and express myself more confidently, I would say. So that is my or understanding of my own self or my own journey. And going to festivals with our own films, which are not catered for a non-Tamil, non-Indian audience, is not my thing. I would like to make films from my world, from my land, for my own people, which I would be happy if it connects with the international audiences. If it doesn't connect also, I don't mind, as long as it connects with our people, our culture and our issues. So I think that is the way to look at addressing or taking our films internationally. I would say that.
My name is Anoop. My question is to Vetrimaran sir. Sir, உங்கள் படத்தில் எல்லாமே வந்து அந்த வேர்ல்ட் பில்டிங் வந்து ரொம்ப நிஜமாகவும் ரொம்ப ரியலிஸ்டிக்காகவும் இருக்கும். Can you little bit tell about the world building or the premise of the story, how it is important?
Okay, for me, first I choose a world, and then I try to understand the world, and from the world I try to find a story. I don't have a story and then go to a world and try to fit it in. And it's basically the world where I want to live for the next 2 years. If there is something that I would like to learn, explore, understand, or take it out to the world, then I go there, I be there, and I try to understand the people in the world, their issues, their problems, and then I try to make a story around it. Sometimes we might fail in telling a story or telling a good story, but capturing the world from which the story comes, I feel most of the times is important. And also I try to be fluid when it comes to story. A lot of times this has happened where we go to the sets with the story, and then an actor who's picked from that same place to do a small role will come and say, no, it doesn't happen this way here. We do it differently. Then we all wait and let him explain how it is done, he or she to explain how it is done, and then we change the narrative to fit into that world or what they feel is right or how they do it. that is that fluidity is very important, I think. Also, we don't most of the times we take actors from that same world, especially the actors in the background. They are from that land itself, that place itself, so that they are living their own lives. That adds more authenticity, I think.
I haven't seen Natalia's film yet, but both Lijo's and Vetrimaran's films, your films are rooted in the culture that you come from and that you tell stories about. And yet your films find very universal appeal because those themes are universal. Just because Mr. Ranjit talked about going international and speaking about international co-productions and things like that, do you feel there's a danger of losing something in translation when we start working with international producers, co-producers, in terms of how best to tell a story? It's for either of you.
I don't think it makes a lot of difference when you go for a co-producer from international arena. Just for the reason that when any which way you're going to tell a story, the story is going to be a human story, and the situation and the character, the placement, everything. I mean, we have to do it in such a way that when it is appealing to the global audience. So I think, I mean, the cinema today is happening in that particular zone. Like everyone is making films like that only.
So, but would you encourage young Malayali filmmakers to seek out international co-producers so as to get a larger audience for their films? Would that be something you would encourage?
No, it's not. I mean, I don't think I have to encourage it in that way. I would say I would encourage people to make great films than thinking about going international and co-producing it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a different take from Lijo here. For someone like me, production, I mean, any producer will have a challenge working with me. So, a co-production, an international co-production, if it's a studio setup, then I would say that it is going to take away the whole excitement of filmmaking for someone, for a rogue filmmaker like me, where I don't know what I'm going to shoot. My producers put up with all that thing because they can see the end result, or at least they have a track record. They can rely on a track record. That what I'm saying is my personal experiences. I'm not saying that this is the right way to do it. So, disclaimer here. So, for me, a co-production, when it starts thinking a studio way, then it becomes too plastic, I would say. And when you start thinking of a global audience, you will have to compromise on the ethnicity. And I think the more ethnic you become, the more international your films are going to become. There is no other way to make international films. Rather than trying to address more audiences, make films that are meaningful and will connect to the people whom you are making the films for. I think that's more important. And co-productions will work for people who are conditioned that way. You know, script submissions, script reading, script corrections, their suggestions, their input, corporate meetings, and so many things before they say, okay, we will give you money. Instead, I would say, we make a film our own way and then try to get a producer or distributor, international distributor on board. Like there are a lot of other, a lot of international distributors who look out for good films. Yeah, sales agents are another challenge. You give the film to sales agent, they will say, okay, we will only sell the film, and they will ask for 10% or 20% something. And I will have a friend who wants to release my film in US, and this sales agent will ask 20% of that money my friend is giving me. So it's not, again, that doesn't go well with the, what to say, small scale industry attitude like mine. So we all make, for us, films are small scale only, like, as an industry. So that way, if we can get a distributor who will take our films internationally, then it's good, I feel. Instead of going in for co-production, for some people it will work where you get a grant from certain governments. They, for example, France gives, I think, 30% or 40% if you shoot more than 80% of the films there. So for some people it might work, for some stories it might work, not for all, definitely not for me.